Hello. Now I'm going to talk about the current events forum in the majority of the class, which is lessons 3 through 7. In lessons 3 through 7, your assignment in the current events forum will be to create a current events briefing. And this is a 300 to 500 word written summary of and reaction to a current event pertaining to your theme in the Latin American country you picked. A current events briefing is about a single event, such as a new law passed in Mexico or a conflict in Colombia on the 25th of September. It's not a list of 3 different news stories in Colombia. So what I'm asking for you to do is to find 3 different sources in the news about one particular story, such as one massacre committed by a drug cartel in Mexico. Not necessarily 3 different stories about violence in Mexico. So it's going to be pretty specific. So what you'll pick depends on your theme. If you're looking at literacy in Costa Rica, you might find out that the government has a new program for literacy or for preschool. You'll find 3 articles about that via a Google News search, or if you would like to use the library website, you're welcome to do that. And then you're going to summarize, and you're going to tell the story in your own words of what's happening while citing those sources. So every bit of information that you give in your 300 to 500 word summary is going to tell us where you found that information. So there's a sample current events briefing in the syllabus. The very best way to cite is using hyperlinks, and that you've probably seen that. It's text where if you click on it, it brings you to the source. There are directions about how to create a hyperlink in the syllabus. It's very easy. You copy the web address that you want to use, then you select that text that you want to hyperlink to, and then you right-click it and beg pardon, you select hyperlink. As in this with other assignments, I suggest you do it in a Word document and then cut and paste into the forum. If you do it in the forum and your web connection gets reset, you could lose a lot of work. So your current events forum needs to include 3 different sources, who is involved, what's happening, why it's happening, your reaction in your own words. And it's okay if you find different information from your different sources. That's part of authentic research. Mention, well, this source says that Chavez has done this, but this source says he hasn't actually done that because blah, blah, blah. So you will post your brief directly into the forum, and then you will reply to someone else's brief. And the directions for how to create a hyperlink are on page 11 of the syllabus. And then the current events forum in lesson 8, you're going to talk about your final project. And I will talk about that in the video about the final current events website, which is the final for the class. If you have trouble during the class finding news, let me know, and I'm happy to do some searching and point you to some sources. However, when you're setting up your theme, if you're finding that you really can't find anything, contact me. We'll figure out how to set a larger net for you, maybe open up your theme a little bit in terms of being able to find stories on that theme. Please look at the sample and learn how to create a hyperlink. And look at the news and see what you find. There are links in the class website for sites where you might be able to find information. And I invite you to take a look there and surf around, see what you see what looks interesting to you. And that's it for the current events brief.